Okey, kita akan masuk ke chapter 8 terus. Okey, chapter 8 rotational of a rigid body. Sebelum kita dah tengok linear motion, sekarang kita akan tengok rotational of rigid body. So untuk tajuk ni dia ada kaitan dengan chapter 6. Cuma kita spesifikkan kepada rotation lah. Okey, rotational motion. Right, so untuk rotational, perkataan rotational ni tak ada masalah untuk awak faham. Apa maksud rigid body kat sini So rigid body ni mungkin pertama kalilah awak guna. Sebelum ni kalau bila linear motion, kita we will treat the object as a point. Okay, any object of any shape, okay, bila kita tengok linear motion, ataupun forces, we will treat it as a point. An object of any shape, okay, kita akan treat dia as a point. Okay, treated as a point. So untuk case ni, kita dah tak boleh treat dia as a point, jadi kita akan tengok dia sebagai rigid body. So apa dia rigid body tu? Is an idealization of a body that does not deform or change shape. Okay, maksudnya dia tidak berlaku deformation ataupun tidak berubah bentuk. Okay, so maksud dia tidak berubah bentuk. So let's say I have a shape like this. So whenever it rotate, kalau kita pusingkan dia, it rotate. Okay, with this one is the axis of rotation. Okay, kita panggil dia axis of rotation. Okay, so it will rotate along this axis of rotation. So it will not deform ataupun berubah bentuk, okay, or change shape. Meaning that all the formally, okay, kat sini dia cakap formally it is defined as a collection of particles. So setiap rigid body tu dia actually is a collection of particle. Okay, it's a collection of particle all along the rigid body. Okay, property that the distance with a property that the distance between the particles remain unchanged during the course of motion of the body. So kalau berlaku change shape, jadi katakan partikel dekat sini, okay, partikel dekat, saya tulis dekat sini, dekat nombor 1 ni, bila kita berlaku perubahan bentuk, maka distance between the, okay, distance tu kat sini, distance tu juga akan berubah. So dia tak ideal lah untuk case kita. Jadi kita nak idealkan dia, jadi kita namakan dia rigid body, di mana dia tidak berlaku deformation ataupun change shape. Okay, so basically that is apa yang dimaksudkan dengan rigid body. Right. So untuk LO 8.1, you need to define angular displacement, and then average angular velocity, instantaneous angular velocity, average angular acceleration dan instantaneous angular acceleration. Ini semua kita dah pernah tengok bila kita buat chapter 6 hari tu, tapi kita akan just revise a bit before we go through the exercise. Okay, so kat sini dia adalah equation yang kaitkan antara angular displacement dengan arc length dengan R. So hari tu saya dah pernah explain, jadi kat sini saya just tulis balik je, theta is equals to S over R, where the theta is in, the SI unit for theta is always in radian. Other units for theta is sometimes expressed in degree or revolution. So you need to know the conversion factor, which is 1 revolution equals to sometimes also use 1 rotation, okay, which is equals to 2 pi radian. Or in degree is also equals to 360 degree. Right, so you need to know the conversion factor. So in addition to that, we also need to specify the direction. Okay, so if it's the sign is positive, meaning that it's rotate in anti-clockwise. Okay, if the sign is negative, it's rotating in clockwise direction. That is just the penambahan untuk chapter ni. Kita spesifikkan lagi dia punya direction. Sebelum ni kita tak spesifikkan direction dia. Alright, so untuk average angular velocity, simbol dia kita guna omega. Yang ni pun awak dah biasa dengar. So equation yang kaitkan omega, okay, dengan angular displacement tadi ialah omega average equals to delta theta over delta t. Okay, delta theta over delta t, which is delta ni is equal to theta final minus theta initial over the time. Okay, and then the next one is instantaneous angular velocity. The equation for instantaneous angular velocity is equals to d theta over d time. It's the differentiation. Okay, kita kena differentiate. So nanti kita akan tengok baliklah macam mana nak differentiate an equation of the displacement. The unit is the radian, is in radian per second. Okay, the SI unit. Alright, so in order to find the direction of omega, we need to use the right hand grip rule, thumb. Okay, sorry, the right hand grip rule. So thumb ni menunjukkan direction of angular velocity, which the one that we want to find. Okay, and the curl finger, which is jari-jari yang kat bawah yang selebihnya selain daripada thumb tu menunjukkan arah putaran rigid body tersebut. So katakan rigid body tu putar dalam anti-clockwise, jadi thumb awak akan menunjukkan upward. So bila dia menunjukkan upward, meaning that the omega, the angular velocity is directed upward. Alright. So same for instantaneous angular velocity. Sama je lah nak cari dia punya direction, kita guna right hand grip rule. Okay, next is for average angular acceleration. Okay, the rate of change of angular velocity equation untuk cari average angular acceleration. Simbol dia adalah alpha. So alpha average equals to delta omega over delta t. And delta ni ialah omega final tolak omega initial divided by time. Okay, for average instantaneous acceleration, for instantaneous angular acceleration, yes, angular acceleration is equals to d omega over dt. It's the differentiation juga, but this time is the differentiation of omega with respect to time. Okay. And the SI unit is in radian per second square. Alright, the next one is the direction. In order to find the direction, we need to know the omega. So if the omega is upward, okay, for speeding up, if let's say it's speeding up, alpha is in the same direction as the omega. But for the slowing down case, okay, the alpha will have the opposite direction as the omega. So if omega is upward, then alpha would be downward. It's always the opposite of it.